Alright, so last week we kind of like had our like breather episodes essentially to kind of, take us off that high from the first temple, and it looks like we're gonna have like 2 more episodes like that before we start getting into the bigger stuff again with the second temple and Barrel's Warhammer next week. So this week we have Toad to Redemption and Maddie and Marcy. Now, Toad to Redemption, everyone, well, maybe I shouldn't say everyone, but I thought that this was going to be like a Sasha and Grime episode, but it's actually a Mayor Toadstool episode, and I know we had kind of like that plot thread hinted at the end of the first temple where like the Toad Lords are meeting, so I'm wondering if that's going to come into play in this episode at all, because that'd be interesting. But we also have Maddie and Marcy, and I'm actually really excited for this episode because I think a lot of people like Maddie and they like episodes that kind of expand a bit more on the people of Wartwood, but it's also going to be a Marcy episode, and everyone loves Marcy, so it's going to be great. So it's 2 characters that people love, but I'm specifically excited because it seems like we're going to kind of take Marcy out of just like, an Anne and Marcy episode. It's going to be a Maddie and Marcy episode, so I'm going to be interested to see like how Marcy interacts with another character outside of Anne, because that's pretty much like the only character Marcy's really had like a big connection with so far in the show. So I'm excited to see her like hang out with someone else besides Anne. Not that I don't love Anne and Marcy, but just like, it's nice to broaden your horizons. So yeah, let's go.
But this town's kind of growing on me.
Okay,
Is it though?
Sir, item 1. There are some potholes down on 6 that need filling.
I thought Marcy fixed your potholes. I guess they probably got ruined when the swamp kind of sank the whole town.
Frog dang it, it's been rubbing off on me.
Yeah, sometimes it feels nice just to do the right thing and be a good person. Oh.
What?
Oh my goodness. What? Oh, that's right. Newtopia's coming. I knew this. Why am I acting like I didn't know this?
The events of Toad Tower.
Oh, okay.
The point!
Oh my goodness. You just have a dagger on hand?
By
Oh, it's
order
just
of
like a like a letter opener.
Toad Tower!
You got a
With
promotion,
Captain
buddy.
Grandon,
Good
we need
job.
someone-
That's not a bad salary.
Anyway,
I wonder if
this
there's
money
like
is
some
for rebuilding
ulterior
Toad
motives
Tower,
here
but who's to say that
with
all
Newtopia
is full?
and why they're pressing this so hard. I mean, like, I know they're like in charge, but
This dangest dungeons in all of Amphibia.
wow. Yeah.
Hypothetically.
So they are in control. I didn't know to this extent, but my goodness. Aw. Like, I am glad that we're getting some like character development for Toadstool.
Did you ever work your entire life to fulfill a dream, but when it finally comes true, you
She's
realize that
13.
maybe it wasn't your dream?
She's 13.
Still talking about parking tickets?
I just didn't point.
Maybe you've come to love this crummy town more than you thought you would. I certainly relate.
I just wish there was a way
That's
out of
true.
this.
I just do a really bad job so she wouldn't ask me anymore.
That's it.
Just
I gotta convince
sabotage.
them
I just love when characters just go to the extreme. Like, what's like the worst possible plan that I could do, and then they do it. Oh no.
All right.
Is there a third option?
No. Any questions?
Kind of several.
Wonder how that's going.
How is that going? Oh my goodness.
Fascinating.
It's going well. It's going very well.
This
Well-oiled
is
machine, this group.
almost my pride
Oh, that's
and
creepy.
joy.
No, thank you. Don't like that.
Well, that didn't work.
Don't worry, we still got the second
How am
option.
I getting arrested? Just destroy the town that you love. It's a great plan. Oh, good job. It's like whack-a-mole. You got the high score, buddy.
Incredible.
No need, sir.
Wow.
We're all packed and ready to go.
Toadie's
You've got a
quick and
competent
efficient.
assistant here, May. Did you think
no.
you were going to be assistant to the
didn't
head
know?
toad? I, Jacinda, will be Toadstool's deputy at Toad Tower.
Oh, that's why she's pushing for it so hard. Cause she wants that job. Oh! They're just here? Really? I was not expecting them to show up. Is she gonna give the job to Bog?
Lie to a fairly large group of people.
But I heard you like being mayor now.
Me?
Oh wow,
Like
word
being mayor
travels
of a
fast
disgusting
around here.
podunk-
I can't get over the fact that Anne's weapon is just her tennis racket that she just keeps on hand at all times. I think that's hilarious.
I'm afraid we need someone cutthroat, someone ruthless, someone just like him.
Yeah. This is just insane that they're like, yes, put the bloodthirsty bandit in charge of Toad Tower. I mean, that's basically what it was before with Grime, but the fact that they're just like, yes, this is what we want.
I'm gonna make Grime seem like a big softie.
Alright.
But you're our money-grubbing loud.
I love how dysfunctional this town is, and they're just like, yes, we love every aspect of it.
I won't. Who's that snug little baby? Who is it? Who is it?
Oh, okay. Well, this is getting a little bit
Should we be
weird.
watching this?
That was cute. I like episodes that expand upon the people of Wartwood, especially because Toadstool's not that, well liked. But this, I'm excited for this with Maddie.
1/2 drop of worm snake.
My gosh, guys, it's the Amphibia Owl House crossover we've all been waiting for.
That's what you said yesterday. Look, Mrs. John.
Oh.
Hey, get out of here.
Okay.
Necromancy is really advanced magic. It said that only level.
Marcy is going to be all about this. I can't juggle, so that's very impressive.
Rockside conifer. What a find! And they said compiling a plant encyclopedia would be boring.
Gosh, Marcy, I love you so much.
That doesn't sound good. A curse user here? Grow up.
Oh, they're just kids.
Get out there and introduce yourself to confidence. Hi there, my name's Marcy.
Oh, she's dead.
You're
She died.
Anne's friend, right?
And her
gosh,
cape's on
that
fire
was the
again.
coolest thing. I've read every Cynthia Coven book 5 times.
Oh my god.
I searched all over Utopia for someone who could teach me, but magic users are so rare these days.
I mean, magic users also don't exist on Earth as much as I would like them to.
Do I ever?
She's like, yes, I need the emo hair. A vomit bird? Oh, poor buddy. Could you imagine if your entire existence was just to vomit?
I used to play with them all the time. See you at the sacrificial grove tomorrow for an unholy ritual.
Yeah, just the usual activity and plan that you have. Oh, they angry. Oh, their room is so cute.
That stupid old lady.
Stupid old lady. She's 13.
Witchy spells to grow up. Grow up? And then we'll be older and Maddie will want to play with us again. Yeah!
We'll make sure you resurrect them when you're done.
Okay, that's enough. You okay?
I don't like that either. I do not like that flower. I'm sure this will go. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, buddy.
You wanted us grown up. So here we are.
Man, the like pitched voices are I don't like that. That's creepy. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. This is like Attack on Titan meets Amphibia.
Maybe a little too big.
Voices.
Guys?
Oh, drenched them on. Oh hey, what's up, Chuck?
Tulips.
I'm gonna need you to make 4 doses while I calm them down. But I'm not ready for that level of
4?
potion making.
Lavender.
The timing of this worked really well with the Godzilla vs. King Kong movie. Don't drop him. Don't drop him. That would be just absolutely catastrophic. This is like Shadow of the Colossus now too. I feel this episode is so many things. Oh, and that was a much more graceful landing than just plummeting to your death than I expected.
I had a great teacher.
Maddie!
We love you, Maddie!
Aww. Oh, he's still alive, even after being crushed.
Bring it in, Fleefy, you crazy freak of nature.
Oh no! Said it's fine. He's fine. He'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good. He just won't have a head. With last week's episodes being more of breather episodes, we are continuing that into this week with Toad to Redemption and Maddie and Marcy. With next week's episodes being the Second Temple and Beryl's Warhammer, I'm glad we have a bit more time to have some fun lighthearted episodes before we pick up into the heavier stuff again. We'll start first with Toad to Redemption. Mayor Toadstool has never been the most sympathetic character, so I enjoyed getting an episode focused on him. Especially considering last week's episode, New Wartwood, where we saw him being his usual greedy self. But with this episode, we see from the start that Toadstool is being far more generous and deciding to fill the potholes rather than get a jacuzzi for himself, and even helps two frogs of Wartwood with their stand. Toadstool admitted that ever since the events in Reunion when he saved everyone, trying to do good has been rubbing off on him. And I like that Toadstool, who has been a character that has been self-centered and always had an air of self-importance, finally realizes that being kind gives him far more respect from Wartwood than when he acts like he is respected just based on his title of mayor. However, with the arrival of Jacinda, an emissary of Newtopia, Toadstool is faced with the dilemma of having to pick between his dream job or decline and be thrown in prison. I think his issue in this episode is actually a great example of how people's visions and goals change over time. I don't think people should be bound to a goal for life. Things change and so can your goals for the future. In Toadstool's case, he has taken a liking to Wartwood and doesn't want to leave. However, this puts him in jeopardy of being thrown in prison. It's always been hinted at that the Newts are in control of everything, but I didn't think it was to the extent of being able to throw a Toad in prison for declining a job offer. Something that I found interesting is that Toadie is actually the one who accepts the offer for Toadstool and is very emphatic that he should take the job. Considering Toadie is the lackey for Toadstool, seeing him put his foot down is definitely a different side of him. Although Toadie is incredibly loyal, and this is something that they have both wanted, so it's understandable why it's so important to him. It's just that Toadstool's dream has changed, while Toadie's is still the same. But this leads to Anne helping Toadstool out and sabotaging himself so he doesn't get the job. And I do like that Anne and Toadstool have had a similar experience in disliking Wartwood at first, but slowly warmed up to it over time. The sabotaging goes about as well as you would expect in that it completely fails and makes Toadstool look great. But it's not until Toadstool realizes that Toadie will no longer be his assistant that he puts his foot down to Jacinda. However, he is interrupted by the invasion of Bog, Fenz, and Meyer and the rest of the remnants of the Toad army from Toad Tower. Now they live their lives as bandits and they intend to rob Wartwood of all of its valuables. And I'm glad we got confirmation on what the rest of the former Toad army is doing. We know Percy and Braddock stuck with Grime and Sasha, so it was always a question in the back of my mind what happened to everyone else. But this leads to Toadstool doing what he does best, which is lying to a fairly large group of people. And thankfully, it's enough to distract the Toads, and everyone in Wartwood rallies to beat them. However, this leads to Jacinda acknowledging that Toadstool is too soft for the job, and instead offers it to Bog, which he happily accepts. Now, he claims he is going to make Grime look like a big softie, so I wouldn't be surprised in Season 3 if we see the return of Bog and Jacinda ruling over Toad Tower and how that will affect Wartwood. I feel that would be some good character progression that ties through each of the seasons. But with Toadstool out of the job, that means he's here to stay in Wartwood along with Toadie. Overall, this was a fun episode that showed how Toadstool has changed during his time in Wartwood. But up next we have Maddie and Marcy. We start this episode with Maddie getting interrupted by her sisters Rosemary, Ginger, and Lavender while she is trying to do a spell. And I like how people in town are enlisting the help of Maddie to do necromancy and reviving pets. It's definitely an interesting hobby to encourage. But with the triplets causing more trouble, a tree gets brought to life. Thankfully, Maddie is able to handle it on her own, and Marcy, who is nearby, introduces herself. Back in Scavenger Hunt, Marcy said that she doesn't have the best social skills, and while she was very outgoing in New Wartwood, we see her trying to be cool and confident in her introduction to Maddie. I also like this Harry Potter reference with a Cynthia Coven book. I know it's a joke, but I like the implication that Marcy just had this on hand when she got transported to Amphibia, but this begins Marcy's apprenticeship under Maddie. Now, Marcy has always been shown to be the smart one, so I like in this episode we see her being the apprentice and eager to learn. It's a position we haven't really seen her in before, so it's a welcome change. But this leads to the two collecting ingredients needed for the spell. And this eventually leads to Maddie telling a bit about her relationship with her sisters. They used to be close when they were younger, but once Maddie came across a magic book, magic became her main priority. And Marcy relates to Maddie in being very involved with hobbies, but does point out that she could probably make more time for her sisters. I feel like people who have siblings and there is an age gap will probably relate a lot to Maddie with being older and picking up interests that don't appeal to younger siblings. However, that doesn't mean you can't set aside time for your family. Now, Rosemary, Ginger, and Lavender don't like that Maddie is hanging out with Marcy instead of them, so they decide to take Maddie's book and use a growth potion to make themselves older. Maddie and Marcy push on with the resurrection spell, and surprisingly, it actually works. However, they're interrupted by the triplets. And poor Flea here was resurrected only to be crushed moments later. Now, unfortunately for the triplets, their potion causes them to keep growing to the point where they will explode, so it's up to Maddie and Marcy to save them. And here we get Maddie apologizing for pushing them away for so long. Considering they were all supersized like this could have easily been a kaiju-esque fight. But I like that Maddie just owns up to ignoring her sisters and apologizes for her actions. It may not be the flashy way for this scene to play out, but I think it's the better one. With the help of Marcy, they are able to shrink the triplets back to normal, and Maddie notes how great Marcy did, and in turn, Marcy thanks her for being a good teacher. Maddie has always been seen as the weirdo in Wartwood, so to have someone think she is cool and appreciate her is a welcome change for her. But Marcy isn't the only one who appreciates and looks up to Maddie, because her sisters feel the same as well. Even after getting pushed away by Maddie and her blaming herself for everything, they still forgive her. I'm hoping we get another episode with Maddie, Rosemary, Ginger, and Lavender in the future just to see how they are doing. After this episode, it seems that Maddie will be setting aside more time to spend with them, so I think it'd be fun to check back in with them again. And seriously, poor Flea, resurrected, crushed, and then decapitated all in one episode. Overall, I thought this was a sweet episode that focused on two favorites, Maddie and Marcy. Specifically with Marcy, I like getting to see her interact with others outside of Anne, and that she took on the role of an apprentice. And with Maddie, I think her dilemma highlighted what a lot of older siblings feel when there's an age gap between themselves and younger siblings. But with these two episodes in the book, we have the Second Temple and Beryl's Warhammer next week, where we'll continue to follow the group on their journey with the Calamity Box and also check in with Sasha and Grime. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.